Hi, I'm Matt Bedoya, and today I'm going to be talking about Grant's tomb. John Duncan's Grant Memorial, completed in 1897, marked a notable shift in the way that commemorative monuments in the United States were being designed. By emulating the larger and more lavish architectural styles of monuments in the ancient world, and shunning the obelisk and columnar designs that were in favor at the time of the tomb's construction, the monument's design effectively evoked a new sense of nationalism and patriotism in post-Civil War America, and still uniquely represented the person being commemorated, Ulysses S. Grant. But to accurately analyze the form of Grant's tomb, I must first provide some historical context. The American Civil War devastated the nation and divided the country, and Union General Ulysses S. Grant was a key figure in bringing the war to an end and became one of the most celebrated figures in America. Due to his military prowess and political background, General Grant was elected as the 18th President of the United States and served from 1869 to 1877. In historian Joan Waugh's words, at the time of his death, Ulysses S. Grant was the most famous person in America, considered by most citizens to be equal in stature to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. When Grant died, it was clear that a monument needed to be built, which not only reflected the overwhelmingly public opinion of Grant himself, but also the nationalism and pride felt by America in a nation no longer at war. But how to build such a monument, however, was unclear at first. In the aftermath of the Civil War, funerary monuments were usually statues, or what were commonly referred to as shafts, which is a loose term referring to the popular column and obelisk structures used in memorials. These shafts were the status quo for funerary monuments before the Civil War, and as a result, the shaft design of private funerary monuments became the go-to design for public memorials immediately after the Civil War. The Washington Monument, Soldiers and Sailors Monument, and the National Lincoln Memorial are just a few examples. When the time came to design a monument for Grant, a competition was held, and first prize was awarded to Paul Schultz. The winning design was, unsurprisingly, a 240-foot shaft. Not only were the experts of the Grant Memorial Association Committee displeased, but so were the public, who had grown tired of statues and shafts. To gauge public opinion on this matter, look no further than this cartoon published in Puck, titled simply, "No More of Those Hideous Monuments." People believed the Grant Memorial deserved more. The history of this memorial bears importance because it demonstrated a shift in the American attitude, and as a result, a shift in American monument design to come. As we know, memorials often reflect the ideals of a society, but how do you commemorate the most famous person in the United States who ended the Civil War and who evoked a new American pride and patriotism? A second competition was held, and John Duncan's design, the one we know and love today, was selected as the winner. The winning design showed echoes of ancient Greek architecture, particularly the Temple of Zeus Olympius. The upper section of the design is a clear reference to the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Reference to ancient civilization in American architecture and monuments wasn't anything new, but the scale to which it was carried out demonstrates a sense of American nationalism in the country, as the architecture likens America itself to a great ancient civilization. The creation of Grant's tomb marked the largest amount of money ever collected for a public monument. The structure is the largest tomb in America and the second largest mausoleum in the Western Hemisphere. Unlike today, the Grant Memorial was not always adorned with trees and colorful park benches, which were added in the 1970s. Instead, the surrounding area of the Grant Memorial was more sparse. The visual effect was that the sky acted essentially as negative space, or a blank backdrop, setting the stage in which the monument could be admired. The setting ensured the viewer's eyes would be drawn to the monument exclusively, devoid of any other visual distractions. Today, trees roughly the size of the monument make for a nice decorative effect, but the bold contrast of the monument and its sparse surroundings at the time made the importance of the monument stand out. The memorial not only has a massive base, it also has multiple tiers, getting smaller on top and drawing the viewer's eyes up in an arrow shape, and forcing the viewer to notice the immense size of the memorial being important again because it demonstrated pride and nationalism. You may even notice that most professional photographs of the Grant Memorial are taken at an upward angle, which further supports the claim that visual direction is drawn upward. The rigid square base of the structure brings to mind not only the strength of the building, but it echoes General Grant himself as a foundational element of the new post-war America and the strength of the nation. To conclude, I'll talk about some of the main points of my presentation. Prior to the construction of Grant's Memorial, monuments had been conforming to a tall shaft design that for a long time dominated memorial architecture, so a large footprint, massive, voluminous monument was a clear, marked departure from then norms. That departure wasn't coincidental. At the same time, the country had emerged from a devastating 4-year civil war and had developed a new sense of national pride and unity in the subsequent years, all under the leadership of one man in particular, Ulysses S. Grant. It was fitting that the memorial for Grant, a man who had a transformational effect on the nation, also be transformational in its own domain, and that's exactly what Grant's memorial was. That was demonstrated through the form of the monument, concerning its reference to ancient civilization, its shape, and its setting. The man and the building each established a new direction in their respective domains. A boredom with the memorial design conventions in America, excitement for a new leader who led America out of a deadly civil war, and newfound nationalism in the country after the war converged to influence the construction of a memorial the likes of which the country had never before seen.